So good to be with you. We are back for day 2 of Bold Moves. I cannot wait to hear about the moves you took yesterday. So good to be with you all. Unfortunately, Kayla still has a fever today, so she's gonna sit this one out. She loves you all, sends her love, would love to be here, but she just knows she's got to rest. So, we're gonna soldier on here without her. I'm sure she'll be back tomorrow. I said that yesterday, but I'm really hoping she'll be back tomorrow. And if not, that's cool because we got this. So how are you today? Powerful coaching yesterday, some bold moves. So fun to see you all. Go ahead in the chat and tell me, what'd you have for lunch today? What'd you have for lunch? I want to know. Or if you're West Coast, maybe you had breakfast. What'd you have for breakfast? I just had a protein shake because that's what I had time for, and it was great. Salmon salad, Katie. Love it. So good. Turkey and cheese. Awesome. Greek yogurt, fruit granola. Love it. Making it right now. Having a bagel. Awesome. So good. Ooh, PB&J on sourdough. That sounds good. Love it. Love it. Did you guys connect yesterday with someone who shared your favorite color? You could do the same with lunch today. Pick someone who's, I don't know, eating something for lunch that you also like and maybe reach out. See if they want to be accountability buddies after you take your bold move. You guys can message each other, cheer each other on, or just make a new friend, right? Just make a new friend. We are here to take bold moves, to network, to meet new people. So reach out and say hi. Julie, grilled chicken with risotto. Ooh, does sound fancy. Sounds great. Love that. Yeah, if you're just popping on, hi, thanks for being here. Tell me what you had for lunch or breakfast in the chat. Spinach salad with steak and protein. Love it. Who is iPhone today? Will you type your name in just so I know who that is? French toast, Cassandra. Yay, that sounds good. I haven't had French toast in ages, but that sounds really, really good. Susan, great, awesome. I didn't eat eggs for a long time. I had to take them out of my diet because I was healing some digestive and I just started putting them back in again. So I feel that you just gave me a great idea. I think French toast is in my future this weekend. Ham and croissant sandwich, guacamole. Davisha. Oh, great. Hi, Davisha. Great to see you. We have 2 iPhones on the chat, so I will do my best. So good to see you all. Okay. Let's do the thing. I'm going to bring the music down and I think everybody's here. We can go ahead and get started. So today is day 2. If you're just hopping on, I did mention Kayla's not able to be here. She still is recovering. So just send some love her way for some speedy healing. And we're going to move into day 2. So yesterday we took a look at fear and resistance. And we practiced tapping as a way that we could neutralize the fear so we could start taking some big swings. So put another tool in your tool belt for when the fear and the resistance comes up because we know it's going to. It's just going to be part of the process. And I would love to hear from you all. What was the bold move that you took yesterday? Okay, that was your homework, was to go and make a bold move. I want you to tell me in the chat, what bold move did you take and how did it feel? And if someone wants to hop off mute and share, I would absolutely welcome that. Feel free to just unmute and tell me about your experience.
I'd like to share.
Great. Hi, audience.
Hi. So yesterday I made a phone call to a big developer in the city of Chicago. And I've been wanting to reach out to him and, just get on his calendar to talk to him about talking to his staff, number 1, and then number 2, about sponsoring an event. So no one answered the phone. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. No one answered the phone, and it was the voicemail came on and it said to leave a message. So what I noticed about myself is that I froze and I didn't leave a voicemail. I'm like, but then I started to make excuses like, no, I just want to talk to them. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to a person. So I didn't leave a voicemail. but me not leaving a voicemail, might not, I have to call again, or at least if I would have left a voicemail, they would have had my name and my phone number and he could have returned my call. But I noticed that I started to freeze. I'm like, okay, it wasn't meant to happen. They didn't answer the phone, yada, yada, yada. So I started, I just kind of noticed that is what I did.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Well, first off, congrats on making the call. Okay, so we're going to celebrate that. That's amazing. You picked up the phone, you made the call. And then thank you for noticing the freeze of like, okay, I don't want to leave a voice message, right? We're going to actually talk about the going into freeze mode tomorrow and tomorrow's call too. So that's great. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for just noticing. And you can swing again, right? Now you can swing again and give it another try. And this time be prepared for the voicemail. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. But we got to celebrate the win. You did the thing and you picked up the phone. So that is a celebration. Awesome. Great work. Okay, so good. Sarah contacted my pre-reader to get the details. Then I barely slept last night thinking of every detail I still need to edit. Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks, Deborah, for sending Kayla the healing light. Julie, I'm a little behind. Listen to the replay today, but took a seriously bold move yesterday in a quantum hypnosis session to release blockages and past outdated beliefs. Onward. Yay, celebrating you, Julie. That's awesome. Jenny, I ended and went no contact with a roller coaster merry-go-round relationship. Okay, awesome. To clear and heal. Way to go. Fantastic. Katie, Chicago-based too. Would love to connect. Oh, yeah, you guys, that is a great connection. For Katie and Aviance, definitely connect. Okay, Deborah, sending you all positive energy I'm unable to be on camera. Okay, no worries, Deborah. That's okay. Erica, my bold moves are too long to paste here. Oh my gosh, 35 done and in Facebook group. Okay, yay. Appreciate all of you. Great. Drop one if you want. Tell us one that you did. So good. I love it. So, anyone else, if you want to share, anyone else want to hop off move and just share what your experience was? We can take one more.
Yeah, this is Deborah. Unfortunately, I can't be on camera today. Actually, I'm under the weather myself, but so anyway. But anyway, I do want to say that someone asked me to be on their board yesterday, and I told them that I would be more effective and have a greater impact if I was a consultant.
Amazing. Great. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, celebrating that because as a consultant, you're paid versus working for free on the board, correct?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Way to stand in that. I love that. Congrats. That's beautiful. Erica, I see your messages. This is so fun. Love it. You were like all in yesterday. Okay, great work. Really good. Okay, so if you have not yet dropped your bold move in the chat, go ahead and drop it. I'm just looking at a couple of emails and voicemails into all the local radio and TV stations. People in different neighborhoods for Lima work. I love that. So, so good. Okay, great.
Lisa, can I answer a question really
For
quick
sure.
that I just saw in the chat? Because I don't know
Yeah,
how
for
to
sure.
respond to people in the chat.
Yeah.
My book is loosely based off of 75 Hard, but it is a spiritual experiment practice. If you're curious about my book, message me on Facebook. I'll respond to you and let you know more. So,
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah.
yeah.
Okay, so what resistance, guys, do you still notice about consistently taking bold moves? Okay, so I want you to think about the word consistently taking bold moves here, right? What resistance do you notice when you think about consistently taking bold moves? So we swung big yesterday, right? And we were all in community and we revved up and we got excited and we decided on a thing and then we went and took a swing and we did the thing. I'm curious now, I want you to think about what if that was a daily practice, right? Where consistently your practice day after day after day was to take a bold move that is outside of your comfort zone, right? The equivalent of every day you pick up that phone and you call someone in a way that stretches you. What resistance do you still notice shows up when you think about being in this sort of consistent action? Right? You can tell me in the chat what comes up for you. Maybe it's like, yeah, I totally like, I'm cool with it for one day, but I can't imagine doing this every day. Or like, I think it would get easier, but then I think like I'd have to always be, stretching myself and that doesn't feel good. Like whatever it is, I don't want to feel trapped. Ooh, that's good. That's good, Erica. Yeah, I don't want to feel trapped. Thank you for noticing that. What other resistance do you guys notice that shows up? When you think about consistently being in bold moves, does fear of failure come up? Does it feel just too stretchy to put yourself out there like that? Sometimes for me, it is that I know I do not always have the capacity to follow up on the bold move that I would like to make. Ooh, that is really interesting, Amanda. Maybe let's coach on that later. I'd like to coach you on that. Noticing I don't always have the capacity, so I could make the bold move, but then I might not have the capacity to follow up on it. Yeah. The same for this, the same for this, Amanda. Yeah. Yeah, really good. So for those of you who are just joining us today too, just so you know, we will do the workshop here for this first hour, and then the second hour today we'll stay on and I'm going to do some personal coaching with anyone that wants it. So you can stay on, you can have some coaching. And as I was saying yesterday, you'll get a ton out of watching someone else get coached. Like it just, that's how it always works, right? Somebody brings something up and it really unlocks a lot of things for many people. Okay, great. It takes a lot of energy and effort. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of energy and effort, right? Okay, I always use this, always use time as an excuse and not having enough of it. Yeah, definitely. Um, it's kind of like the same things that came up the first time when we were talking about taking bold moves. And then when we think about doing it consistently, we can see like, ooh, there's still some resistance here. So we're going to play with that today, okay? So the things that keep us swinging small can really sink their teeth into us, okay? I want you guys to think about this. Most of us have years of times when we've stayed small, and it's to avoid things like rejection, fear, failure, fear of success. We want to avoid change, right? So we can think back to probably seasons in our life where we really just stayed in that space of swinging small. And as we talked about yesterday, really stayed in our comfort zone. Okay. So we kind of get the idea, just like you guys were just saying in the chat, is that we think, that all of these things that could happen could bring even more problems. So best to just stay small. Like, even though I don't really have what I want, at least I have what I know. Like I know what to expect. And even though I don't really have, I'm not really going for my dreams, I'm comfortable, right? I'm hanging around with the same old people. I know what to expect every day. And so we just kind of stay back or we stay inactive. And it also sometimes could be if we've gone through some sort of past trauma, there can be subconscious blocks, there can be all kinds of things that get in the way, okay? So today we're going to embrace movement on two extremes, okay? We're going to look at movement by looking at the best case scenario. So we're going to play in the realm of what happens when we focus on the best case scenario outcome and make a bold move. And then we're also going to look at what happens when we make a bold move with the intention of failing, right? Failing on purpose. So this is going to open up a lot for you guys today. We have a lot to get into, and we can only open up possibilities for what we most want to occur if we allow for the possibility of the opposite to exist. Okay, do you guys get what I'm saying here? So we have to be willing, if you're someone who is like, okay, I'm going to use Erica for an example. She just popped into my head because yesterday she was coaching and she was talking about like, I've got this offer. I want to sell these 25K offers, right? And in order for us to go for it, to fill out a roster of clients, right, who are taking a 25K offer, in order for us to make the moves, we have to be willing to get some no's. We've got to be willing for it. If we are unwilling to hear no, we'll never make the offer. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to be willing to take that move. Just thanks for letting me use that as an example, Erica. It just popped into my mind. But it's true for all of you, like whatever it is that you're wanting, right? You have to be willing for the possibility of not getting what you want to exist. And this is the place that trips us up so often. It's like, oh, but I don't want to hear a no. And oh, I don't want to feel rejected, or I don't want that person to think I'm, any number of things that we can, make up stories in our head. So we never take the swing. So we have to be willing, right? We got to be willing for that uncomfortable thing that we don't want to happen to it. We don't need to feed a bunch of energy into it, but we have to be willing, okay? So I want to do a little exercise with you right now. And we're going to call this the best case scenario exercise. What I'm going to ask you to do is to go ahead and stand up. I'm going to stay sitting so you can continue to see me, so my face isn't off camera. But I want you to just stand up wherever you are right now. Just make a little bit of room for yourself. You want to be able to take at least a step forward and backward wherever you're standing. So just make a little bit of space, okay? And I want you, I'll give everyone a chance, just go ahead and stand up. You can just stand right where you are, nothing fancy. And I want to invite you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine yourself having your dreams and your desires. Okay, so take a couple deep breaths in, get settled in, just plant your feet on the floor nice and firm. Feel yourself on the floor, breathing in slow and deep. And just imagine yourself already having your dreams and desires. And just see it, mental picture in your mind. Imagine it, just use your imagination here. Maybe you even feel the emotions in your body. And now I want you to bring to mind the bold moves you know that you can make. Okay? Notice the bold moves you know you can make. I want you to really turn up the dial on courage. Feel courage in your body, feel it growing. In a moment, you're going to step into a future version of you. One who only experiences the best case scenario of any situation. So, on the count of 3, in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to take a step into this version of you. So, 1, 2, 3, go ahead and step forward into the best case scenario. Here you are. This is the version of you that sees the absolute best outcome. Now, in this best case scenario, I want you to see yourself taking the bold moves that you know to take. Just breathe slowly, and I want you to watch a movie in your mind, if you will, play out of the best case scenario that occurs. So, in other words, you see yourself taking a bold move and you see it play out as the best possible case scenario. And now feel in your body what it's like to have that experience. Notice what emotions arise. Notice what your energy feels like. And now I want you to notice what result follows because you took a bold move. You took a big action. What result in this best case scenario occurred? Okay, so just make a mental note of anything you learned that you want to bring back into your present day self. Okay, we'll take the learning with us. So take a deep breath in, and on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to step back into the present moment. So 1, 2, 3, go ahead and step back. Beautiful. Okay, you can go ahead and grab a seat. And I want you to just anchor in any lessons that you want to remind yourself about the best case scenario. Jot it down if you need to, make a little note for later. And I would love to take a share here, and I want everyone to go ahead and put it in the chat for me. What was the bold move that you took in that best case scenario? And if somebody's willing to share, you can just hop off mute and share.
I can share.
Great.
So I obviously am publishing a book or getting ready to publish a book. And I've been wanting to also move because I hate where I currently live and I don't have resources. But in the future version of me, it was like, what if you just stayed put? And then once the book is published, the opportunity and the places you get to move to are better.
Mm,
And that
wow.
makes me want to cry because I don't want to fucking stay here that long.
Ah.
I literally don't like where I live, but I also think that there's a reason. I know there's a purpose for why I'm here. Because if I do live somewhere else, like it'd be a faster paced life. Whereas here, like
Mhm.
I basically have nothing better to do than to write books. So,
Mm.
but it's like, ah,
Yeah.
shit.
It was kind of like future you was like, just stay there and write it, and then it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, but it's
Mm.
like, what if what if your options are better on the other side of getting your book published and promoting your book and podcasts and speaker events and all of the
Mhm.
things. So I was like, I hate it when my higher self does that to me. I'm just like, man, I just
Yeah.
want to punch her sometimes. Anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. What was the bold move you saw yourself taking? Was it just writing the book? Was that it?
Well,
Like
the
just
book
being
is
put in writing?
written. Yeah, the book is written. I'm sending
Okay.
it to a pre-reader before I send it to editing, just to make sure like the voice and the audience that I think the book is for is that way. And then I send it to editing with Hearts Unleashed and I publish. So like it's done.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
gotta do the damn thing.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you, Sarah.
Mhm.
Thank you. My body was really resistant going back. I was like, oh no, we're already beyond this. Yeah, so good, so powerful. Yes. Okay, so to travel and do more virtual. Amazing, Erica. Great. Rachel didn't get insight, but a very strong feeling in my hands. Okay, great. Pay attention. And if you didn't get insight, that's okay. There's not the way that this works when we do these exercises is your consciousness is doing the work for you. And it doesn't matter if you receive it in the moment. You open the door and you'll receive it when you're meant to receive it. So you can't get this work wrong. Julie, I was focused on myself in my future home with my family in a healthy body with my books filling my bookshelves. Ooh, so cool. I love that. Continue to speak my message and just step into more of my whole self and not just the CEO of my company. To utilize social media more to spread the word and stop letting it be the thing that falls on the back burner. I love that, Amanda. Yeah, amazing. Stepping into all of who you are and just really sharing that message. That's really cool. Deb, taking the next inspired step, moving as if in trust and not focusing on the how. Okay, same with me. Didn't want to go back. Yeah, I had a propensity to dance uncontrollably. I love that ambiance. That's so good. Okay. What did you guys notice? Maybe you already said this, but if you didn't, I'm curious about what were the results and the experiences that followed for you, if you haven't already shared. Like when you saw yourself in the future making a bold move, what was the result? If you haven't already shared, share it with me and let me know. Did you see yourself, like Amanda said, traveling? Did you see yourself having, like just no finance, like the money was in the bank account, or you were having certain experiences? Tell me in the chat what you saw. Bold move, moving in a different country, having more writers for the magazine. Awesome. Uh, the results are paying your debts, traveling all over the world, sharing your mission. I love that. Breathing easier because money was flowing. So good. Okay. And then also tell me, what did you feel in your body when you were watching your best case scenario? Give me a word or a phrase. What were you feeling in your body? Was it expansive? Was it open? Was it joyful? Joy, even more ability to bring opportunities to others, joy, freedom, relief, success, expansive. Everything was clean and organized, dressed nicely. I felt empowered. Saw myself traveling for speaking, being up north in my home with my partner, around family. I love that. Felt excited by all of it. Tingling, yes, so good. Euphoria, anxious, excited. Happy and peaceful. Yeah. So we can really see that there's a future version of us that knows the importance of us taking big swings, right? It's like, this is what you're here to do. Did anyone notice just like you felt alive? There was an aliveness when you were just really doing the thing and you were putting yourself out there and you were taking that action. And then, had that sense of knowing because it was your best case scenario, right? So you had that sense of knowing that that was all coming through. Your studio was built and flourishing, Deb. I love that. Abundance in all areas. So, so good. Okay, you guys, you did that perfectly. You guys did an amazing job. So now that we know that the best case scenario that you want is a possibility, we're going to also practice the technique of just swinging big rather than focusing on results, right? We're like, just building the muscle of swinging big. Okay, we're going to practice simply for the sake of building a muscle. It's kind of like when we go to the gym at first, it's like if you walk into the gym and you've never worked out, it's intimidating, right? It's like, I don't even know how to use these machines. I don't know how to lift weights. But we're going to just take a swing. We're going to give it a try. We're going to see if we can build a muscle. And so in this scenario, we're actually playing to fail. We're playing to actually strike out and we're going to go for no. Okay. So this is all about pushing the limits of where we normally stop ourselves. Because, like what I've really come to understand on this journey is that hearing no, like the only reason we don't want to hear no is because of whatever emotion is going to follow once we hear no. Or like we think there's going to be an emotion, right? And the thing is, like, hearing no doesn't mean anything. It's like it means nothing. Okay, it's neutral. A person can say yes or no, it's for them or it's not for them. It's the meaning we give it, right? It's what we make it mean if someone says no. It's what we make it mean if we fail or we strike out. And it's the meaning we give it that causes us to have the negative emotion. And this is where we get stopped because we don't want to feel the negative emotion. But what this exercise will show you is that if you're willing to feel all of the emotions, if you're willing to just feel fear or feel disappointment or feel whatever there is to feel, and you know that you'll be okay, you will be unstoppable. Okay? You'll be unstoppable because you'll be like, you know what? I'm okay with feeling disappointment. I can handle that. I won't swim in it. I'll give myself a little time to feel it and then I'll move on. I'll move on to what's next. I'll take the learning. Is every single time we go for something, we learn, right? It's really, I don't even like, Kayla and I often say, like, we don't really want to use the word fail because we'd rather use the word learning. We try things all the time and then we're like, okay, that didn't work like we thought. Let's take the learning and go again. So today, as I said, is all about pushing those limits of where we normally would stop ourselves, okay? So we're going to build up our resilience to be with no. We're going to notice when resistance and fear shows up and we're going to jump in anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway, right? Isn't that the saying as it goes, right? So I want to be clear that this is not about getting out of alignment or integrity, okay? We're going to stay in our values, we're going to stay in our alignment, but it is about getting out of your comfort zone. And so anything, we're not going to be spammy. We are, not going to do anything that doesn't feel good for us to do, but we are going to be bold. So remember yesterday, I used Kayla's analogy of being at dance camp, right? And she was saying like, I'm looking at some of the notes she left for me here that she was going to share with you guys is like, when she was at dance camp, there would be days of doing 100 toe touches, right? Or if you've ever done any kind of like, camp where you went in and did any kind of boot camp, right? There are going to be some things that are just no fun. They could be downright bad, but in the end, we'll be stronger. So we have to do something that makes us uncomfortable to build the muscle, okay? So you guys, I am going to offer 3 different exercises to you today. And you get to choose which one you take on, okay? You're going to have a choice, A, B, or C. And so we are going to do the practice of go for no. Has anyone ever played this game? Or I think there might even be a book by this name. Has anyone ever done this? Go for no? Some of you coaching with us surely probably have done this. So here are Yes, Stephanie has. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So here are the practices that you get to take on. So option A is I want you to go for 50 no's. Okay. I want you to go and play for 50 people to tell you no. So here's how this could look. This could look like you're making invitations until you've collected 50 no's. Now, what do I mean by making invitations? This could look like you are making invitations for someone to connect with you, depending on what you do. Most of you have a business, some of you do not. If you don't have a business, this one may or may not apply to you. Maybe you're just like really wanting to build some friendships. I don't know, right? You could be asking people to connect. You could be making invitations directly for people to have a conversation about hiring you. You could be making an invitation to invite someone to come to an upcoming workshop that you have, Stephanie. I love that. You could be making invitations for someone to download, maybe you just created some new free PDF or something to share, like, hey, I have this thing. Would you like to have it? I'd love to send it your way, right? It really depends on what your business is. And if this is one that you want to take on, if you want this option and you want some ideas to brainstorm it, I can help you to do that. But the point is, you're going to make an ask, some sort of an ask to someone where the other person will say yes or no. Okay. And you want to keep going until you've collected 50 no's. So, in other words, you might have 10 yeses in a row and you're like, oh my gosh, I still have 50 more asks, right? Um, you just keep playing. And the purpose of counting no's is that you know you're going to get a lot of yeses. But normally what we would do is we're like, oh yeah, 10 people said yes, that's what I wanted. That's great. You know, I've got 8. I'm just gonna quit now. I've had a couple no's. When we're playing for 50 no's, we're counting the no's and we kind of like take the power out of them, right? It's just like, ooh, I hope I get another no, then I can be done with this. It's like, it's a way of just kind of like hacking your brain to take the fear out and it gets you into action. Okay. So you can let me know in the chat if you have questions on this. I'm happy to coach around it. So here's option B. Option B is you could take a big swing. So this would look like having a conversation or making an invitation that seems crazy, ridiculous, impossible. Okay. So this could be something like making an invitation for the biggest financial amount you've ever asked for. Maybe you're going to make an offer for someone to hire you, and it's like the biggest offer that you've ever made, right? Or you could make an invitation to someone you've always wanted to work with, but didn't have the courage to ask before. So, for example, Erica, maybe she's got somebody that's kind of a warm lead, right? She could reach out. I used that example earlier that she has a 25K offer. She could pick up the phone and say, hey, I have an offer I'd like to share with you. I think this would be great for you. Can I tell you about it? Right? That's an example of a big swing. Or maybe there's just someone that you're like, gosh, I would really love to just like talk to this person about hiring me and my company or my agency. And I really I haven't figured out quite how to, ask them for a meeting. Maybe I'm just going to pick up the phone. I'm going to do it again. Aviance, for you, maybe this is taking another big swing. And if you have to leave a message, right? It's like really just doing a thing that scares you, but is still within your integrity and your, all of that. If you don't have a business, maybe you're going to ask someone out on a date or, you're going to have, I don't know, some other way that you're getting out of your comfort zone, but taking a really big swing. Letting yourself be in the discomfort of, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm about to make this ask. And then option C, if you want to choose this one, is to say the bold thing, okay? So in this option, you would share a vulnerable post, for example, on social media. This is one way you could do it, where you say the bold thing, you're vulnerable, you share your truth in such a way that you just let your voice be heard. And maybe it's something you've been like, well, I really want to say this, but I'm afraid of what people will think, It could be, for an example, someone who's like, I want to kind of like come out of the spiritual closet and like share something, or someone else is like, I've been hesitating sharing my truth around something. So you want to be intentional if you take this on, right? If you do it as a post, for example, in this scenario, the intention is that it's to call people forward about what's possible for them. So I don't mean be vulnerable and like share a terrible story. We're not trying to create any kind of shame or like anything like that, right? The tone is empowering, and by you being vulnerable, you're calling other people forward. Okay. And at the end of it, you would make a call to action for people to work with you. Does that make sense? So, you're really sharing a bold truth with someone in a vulnerable way, but it's to help them get a transformation. And then you're making that call to action like, hey, if this resonated, let's talk. Okay. If you don't have a business and you're here, saying the bold thing could be like, man, I had been needing to have this conversation with my spouse or my partner. And it's a really hard conversation. Or it's a friendship, I have to have a really honest conversation and it's really hard for me to do this, but I got to say the thing, right? So I want you to, or you could do a hat trick and you could do all three. If you really want to put yourself out there, you could pick A, B, and C. But I want you to go ahead in the chat right now and tell me which one will you choose, A or B or C? Which one will you choose, A, B, or C? Stephanie's going for A. Love it. Amanda, a mix of A and C. Okay, great. I love it. A and C. Great. A got booted. What was A? So A was to make invitations until you've collected 50 no's. So in your case, Katie, you could do so 50 asks, right, about carrying your product and something like that, right? 50 no's, I should say. It'd be more than 50 asks, because if you get a yes, you don't count the yeses, you only count the no's. Erica, I already did B and C with bold moves yesterday, so A it will be. I love it. Okay, great. So good. I can for sure do A. I'd like to try B and C too. Amazing. Katie's picking A. Deborah's picking C. Great. Is anyone wondering how these resonate for them? Like, is anyone like, I don't know how, based on my situation, I would do any one of these three? If so, will you hop off mute and just let me coach you a little bit? So I want to make sure you all can customize this for whatever you need. I know where you're at. Julie, do you want to hop off mute?
Hi,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure because like I guess in the business end of it, I'm working on 2 books, but they're not done yet, so I can't, there's not much I can actually do that's like bold at this moment. I'm still in the creation and editing phase and things. So there isn't as much of putting it out there yet,
Mhm.
so I kind of feel stuck with what of these can I do?
Okay.
Because I'm consistently doing the work. I don't know where else I don't know right at this moment where to be bold. I know bold moves are coming for sure,
Mhm.
but in this moment, I'm kind of like, I don't know. So,
Okay, great. So you're an author and you're writing
Yeah.
2 different books?
mhm.
Okay, great.
Well, they're in a series, so it's like the first and then
Okay.
the second.
Okay.
And I'm putting them out almost at the same time. So I'm really just in the throes of polishing the editing and stuff like that before I can do the next steps of the marketing and all that stuff. I'm starting to do that, but yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Oh, okay, great. Are these the first books you published or have you published?
No, these are the first and that I'll publish. Yep. the
Okay,
first.
great. Have you like announced that you're writing these books?
Yeah. I had well, I mean, yes, technically at the conference I had my bookmarks in all of the bags, and I did a giveaway that included the books. But that obviously wasn't a focus at the conference or anything like that. So and I've talked about it on my social media and everything, but I don't have like a big author following. It's mostly just the people that I'm friends with personally.
Mhm.
Because I haven't dipped into the real hard marketing part of it. I am taking a class soon. But yeah, so it's out there.
Okay.
It's just not like there's not much I can do yet, you know?
Okay, got it. Great. Yeah, thank you. Is there where else in your is there anywhere else in your life that you're feeling called to just take some action or kind of just take some edgy, bold action?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm working on like my physical health too, like to lose the rest of the weight that I'm losing. And I have a plan that I'm working with on that. So I kind of feel like I'm set up in a really good spot right now, which makes it hard to be like, what else can I do?
Mhm.
Because you know,
Yeah.
your plan's
So,
going.
I mean, I'm not saying that you should do this like health, something you could do that's edgy, like around health is like, have you ever had a dream of like running a 10K or like you could sign up for a walk or a run or a race or like, hire a health coach or like anything like that resonate? I'm just throwing.
I'm not a runner, but
Okay.
I would like to do, I could see myself doing a walk. It is just one of those things where like that you kind of come back to the time, like where do I have time to, when I have 1 hour a day to myself to work, do I have time to work on these books and myself? You know what I mean? Like,
That's the bold part. This is it. Okay, this is it
yeah.
for you. Great. We're finding it. Okay.
Okay.
So it's where time is currently stopping you, right? That you're like, okay, but when do I have time to work on myself? Because
Yeah.
this is my one thing over here. I'm working on these books. So the bold move for you is getting out of the how and just declaring it to happen.
Okay.
Okay. So the way then that it could happen, like it could be, you don't have to choose this. I'm just giving an example. This could be like, okay, I sign up to walk a 10K in 3 months or 6 months, like whenever it is for you. Like I know that I'm gonna force myself to have to train for this. I'm gonna have to be ready for this. And you would just like sign up for the thing because then you know you have to figure it out and you still have to write the book.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how you
good.
like stretch yourself because if you know how, it's probably not a stretch.
Yeah.
Does
Okay.
that make
No, I
sense?
like that. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so think about what that would be for you and then tell us in the chat.
Okay. I will.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, great. That was great. Um, cool. Could a bold move be getting feedback? It could be, yeah. Love building followers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyone else wanna have some coaching on what theirs could be? And you're not really sure, you just like a little guidance. Okay, cool. Did everyone put theirs in the chat? I think so, right? If you haven't, please tell me, what are you gonna do? What if no one answers us? Is that a no? Um, I don't know if you could really count it as a no. I mean, I guess if no one's answered within, you could give yourself a time limit, right? If no one has responded back in 12 hours or something like that, could be a no. I'll leave that up to you, Stephanie, however you want to play that. For sure. Um, cool.
Lisa, do you
Yeah.
have, I actually kind of thought of something if you are willing to work through this, of kind of what the bold move could be, because I liked what you just did there with Julie, that was cool. For myself, obviously, I know I am a bold person. My agency is literally called the Bold Marketing Agency. You know, we live by the message, stay bold. And I know I do a lot of bold things. I know have a lot of bold moves in all that I do. And right now we're planning our fashion show, and I am definitely the type of person that goes and asks, sponsorship, invites people, whatever it may be. I never really think about how big I'm going until all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, you have this many people here. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of didn't realize that was really bold of me. In a lot of that space. But right now it's something that I find myself that is a little bit difficult. And even where mine is sometimes where I hesitate is that I know I don't always have the capacity where like there's 20 bold things I could think of doing right now, but I know that, okay, I could reach out to this person. I could try and get this client. I can try and do all these things, but then I know I'm planning a fashion show. I know I already have the clients that I do have. I know I'm taking care of my team. I know it's going to be my birthday. all of that space that's there of like, okay, well, I need these things. One thing that I want right now, I would love to hire an but we currently do not have the capacity or the funds to bring on another person onto the team. So I'm sure a lot of everyone here also feels that, you know, if you had a little bit more money here, there's a lot more bold moves you could make there. So I definitely see where that is kind of a barrier in my personal process right now, is that I know I can make time for more of those bold moves if I'm able to bring this person on, but the money is not always allowing for that at the exact moment. Is kind of where I'm finding.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is like you kind of can see like you could make a bold move and have some expansion, but it requires a hire, in which case it's not the right time to make a hire at this moment.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. And then there's a capacity on the other side of it is like, yes, there's these things I could do, but like I don't have the capacity to do all the follow through and to do all the things. So I'm wondering if your bold move could be, this is a question. I don't know this, but I'm wondering if it could be around narrowing your focus to one specific area, kind of like you're going bold. It's almost like you're going small, but you're going bold in one area that could have massive impact. Does that make sense?
It broke up on that last part.
Sorry. I'm curious if your bold move could be to go small and narrow, like all in on one particular area.
Then I guess I kind of made my bold move already then, because I did do that. Over the past month of doing a lot of different things and having just a lot of transitions and change, I did make that decision that I wanted to niche down within our offerings, and that I kind of wanted to let go of that social media side of it and just really niche down back to where the roots of the business were, with that branding and personal branding, and already made that choice, and I shout that choice from the rooftops to any person I meet, but we didn't necessarily do it in full on social media and our website quite yet, because of what's going on with the fashion show as well at the moment. So in a way, I made it, but halfway, kind of.
Okay.
It feels like a really large chess game.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I feel there could be something, and maybe let's play with this a little bit. So you've already kind of narrowed and decided what like your one thing is that is going to get your focus. Is there a way with this one thing that you can go bold without having to hire or deplete your capacity?
As far as I can see, staying patient in that, yes. Like, I have proposals and different things out for it, and I'm just sitting here patiently waiting it in those capacities.
What if you were to pick up the phone and ask for a decision on those proposals?
I like that. I never want to rush people in their process, so I always give them the time. But yeah, definitely being able to having that would be supportive to the overall vision at the moment, and is what I keep.
And it doesn't need to look like you call them and be like, so you ready to hire me? I mean, it could just be like, hi, like, you know, I'm here to like answer questions. I know you've had the proposal for X time. Like, I'd love for us to go forward. You know, what would it look like for you to like, what would it look like to get this done and get this going? You know, we've got some capacity now. We'd love to take you on. Like, it could just be that. It doesn't have to be like, give me an answer by tomorrow. You know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
people are busy, right? And sometimes
Right.
they just need that, like, hey, Amanda cares. And she actually got on the phone and like checked in on me and provided some answers.
I like it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so yeah, they look a little bit different for everybody, right? We're not all, almost all of us are in different industries and different ways of working. But the point in all of this really is just to remember that we can take big swings and that we don't have to wait. We don't have to wait for our circumstances to change, right? So this is a big key. Like anywhere that you've been in circumstances, time, money, know-how, right? Not knowing how is a big circumstance that gets in our way. We're just flexing the muscle of taking action without our circumstances needing to change, right? Knowing that like, okay, I can still be the creator of what I want. So these were all really great, you guys. And we're gonna move in a minute into some coaching. Um, and so, winning for this, so you get to choose your option A, B, C, or you can do the combo. But winning looks like loving yourself enough to complete the exercise. Okay? Loving hard on yourself, being gentle with yourself, being like your own amazing cheerleader. So just remember, this is not about being perfect. This is about, can I show up messy and love myself? Can I laugh at myself? Can I be scared and do it anyway? Can I be uncomfortable and still take action and still be gentle with myself? Right? Make it a game, make it fun. Maybe, grab a partner in here and check in with each other like, hey, how are you doing? Do you have any suggestions for a good way or formula of figuring out what to charge for services and promotions? Let's coach on that in a second, Erica. Yeah, we can totally coach on that. So here's your practices for tonight. Same as yesterday, journal, breathe, EFT tap anytime the fear comes up. You've got that tool you can use, do a little tapping, okay? Choose an anchor to remind you of the best case scenario. So let me explain to you what an anchor is. So an anchor is something in your physical space that when you look at it, you'll remember of what it felt like to be in that best case scenario. Okay. So for example, I have a crystal on my desk. Okay. I could choose something like a crystal. I could choose, something else. So it's like every time I see this sitting on my desk, I'm going to remember what it felt like when I was standing in courage. And this is going to remind me to be courageous. Okay. So it could be something like a crystal. It could be a sticky note. It could be a piece of jewelry. It could be, a picture, something that every time you look at it, you'll be reminded of what it felt like to stand in that best case scenario, to stand in that courage, to stand in that feeling. Go ahead and tell me what anchor you'll choose. Give me some ideas.
Question for you, Gav. I
Yes.
don't really have an anchor. I'm not sure what could be an anchor. Gav.
An anchor could be a post-it note. It could literally be like you take a post-it note and you write the word courage on it.
Okay.
And you just put it on your desk. Okay, it can be anything. You can't get this wrong. It's just like whatever it is for you. It could be a favorite song that you listen to, that you play, put it in your playlist.
Okay.
Amanda, a rock I've collected from my adventures. Great. Yeah, put it somewhere you'll see it. Erica, a picture of my grandpa and me when I was little, my favorite picture. Oh, I love it. I also have a gold sparkly duck that reminds me. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so good. Yeah, so tell me, what will you choose for your anchor? Jenny has a heart rock that Alex painted for me and gave for your Mother's Day. Oh, I love that. Put it somewhere where you'll see it while you're playing the game. A sunstone. That's great. Something that you'll see that will remind you. Could be an oracle card. It could be, like I said, a piece of jewelry. Anything that is meaningful for you. A bracelet, a rubber band around your wrist. Does not need to be fancy. Listen to the song called Born for This. The score, awesome. I have dried flowers from Bali in a frame. Ooh, love that. And it can be helpful sometimes to like move it to a new location, right? Right front and center, so you'll see it. Like the idea of a crystal, great. It could be a rock from your yard, you guys. It doesn't matter, right? Go pick a wildflower. It could be anything that just reminds you of what it felt like to stand in that courage. A walnut shell my son gave me to anchor me during my QHHT yesterday works for this too. That's great. Different pieces of my feelings powerful jewelry, great. Natural stone bracelets, love it. Bracelet that I always wear that is engraved with impact. Fantastic. Really important that we can be our own best cheerleader. We in this practice get to talk to ourselves so with so much gentleness, right? Make it a practice to tell yourself like you've got this. You're doing awesome. You know, okay, so what if it's messy, right? Keep going. You're helping people. You're making a difference. Put yourself out there. Oracle card, Deb. I love it. And yeah, and just remind yourself, this gets to be fun. This gets to be easy. If you get a no and it hurts a little, feel it. Give yourself a minute to be like, ooh, okay, I feel that, right? I feel it. I breathe through it, and I'm still okay. And I'm gonna go again. Really powerful practice once you take it on. And then as a reminder, take on the go for no practice, choosing option A, B, or C. Okay, now I want to open this up for coaching. And coaching, by the way, for those of you who are new today that weren't here yesterday, we can coach on anything you want. Okay, so this can be on something we talked about today, or it can just be on something in your life that is coming up. Yesterday, we went in all kinds of places, right? Uncovering some things that we often, what happens is we don't even know what's under the surface. If you'd like coaching, but you don't know what you want to coach on, that's fine too. You can just say like, I'm not even sure. I know how to get us there, right? So it's totally cool. So you guys think about what you want some coaching on. I'll start with Erica because she posted a question already. So Erica, if you want to hop off mute, I'm just looking at your question. Do you have any suggestions for a good way or formula of figuring out what to charge for services and promotions? Do you want to say more about that, or do you want me to jump
I
in?
was just curious, like, how do you and Kayla, like, when you guys are doing your cool things, like, I know you guys have a team or in your meetings probably hashing it out, but curious, like, how do you guys figure that out?
So ultimately, the way that I initially will coach my clients is to really think about what's the value that you're providing to your client, right? Like the way that we never set a price is to look at what other people in the industry are pricing at. Like I'm not a proponent of going by what's industry standard. Let's call around and see what other people like. We don't do that, right? Um, because it really is about the value that you're bringing forward. Okay, so you want to think ultimately about when this person hires me for my service, what are they really getting? What's the ultimate value of them hiring me? Because we know that we can do free stuff and we can help people and we can get people a little bit of progress, right? But the way that we really truly can help people and get them the biggest result is if they hire us. And so I start there is like, what's that? What is the value that they really get? Sometimes it's priceless, right? I mean, look at what you do. It's like, my goodness, you're like literally saving their life and you're giving them their lives back. You know, how do you even put a value on that? Like, it's really hard to do that, right?
Right.
So then the second question I would ask is, and what is the amount that also feels really good for you to receive in exchange for those services?
Right. And I'm sure it has to do like with what your money mindset is too. You know, if you feel like you're not worth anything, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to charge $1. But if you're like, yeah, so like, I guess there's probably
Yeah.
lots of layers to that question.
There's a lot of layers to it, and I'll do a whole profit plan with a client when I'm working with them, but like those are sort of the bigger, like the big questions I always start with, because what often happens when people will come to work with us is they're undercharging, right? And I'll say, they'll say something to me like, well, my clients don't really have the money for this or that, so I charge this. And I'll say, well, how does it feel in exchange for the time you're putting in? How does it feel to receive that much? And they're like, not great.
Right.
I have to work a lot and I can't really have what I want, right? I'm like, so then if the energy exchange isn't equal, how are you showing up?
Hmm.
But when you're charging appropriately and you know that like I feel I stand so hard in the value and I know that when I show up and give this value and I also receive, it feels like a beautiful energy exchange. It feels like right on.
Love that. It is interesting. They always teach you like look at your competitors and the demographic, and I love that you're not about that at all.
Mhm.
And too, because it is very interesting. In the beginning of my career, I worked at a nonprofit. So a lot of people in Milwaukee know me as the lady that does stuff for free, which I'm breaking that. I've been working on that for a long time, but breaking that, I'm happy to do
Mhm.
some stuff for free, but not every.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird thing that people in our natural health field, it's like they really put you down for charging what you're worth and what you should be charging. And it kind of makes um a whole industry like that, then it keeps us all stuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's not the way universal law is set up at all, right? It's like the law of correspondence is like the universe is set up to give and receive,
Right.
right? We have day and we have night. The tide goes in and the tide goes out. Like the universe is set up to be an exchange of giving and receiving. So we block the flow when we don't receive. Okay, so if we're always out, right? We were talking about this yesterday. It was on one of our calls somewhere yesterday. If it's always going out, well, that's not good, right? If the ocean just only gave, we'd all drown.
Right.
Like there has to be the exchange. So like we have to think about that as people who are service providers in the out in the world doing our thing is like we have to receive. And if we all actually can do ultimately so much more free stuff when we receive well for the services that we provide, right? We can do so much more.
Yeah. I love it. I have to figure out the name of the lady. I was listening to something yesterday, but there was a woman, a black woman, like that was doing beauty industry and made like $1 million in like the 1900s. I was like, that is
Oh
some
yeah.
it's evidence that it is possible for all of us to be conscious millionaires. I was like, yes.
Yes, that was an excellent movie, right? It's like and it's true story as well too, but we we have to be willing to charge for our services in order to grow our businesses, in order to serve our clients to the fullest. Like it's just really important. And the flip side of that, like if you're overcharging and that energy exchange doesn't feel good, like you'll know that too, right? So that's always a checkpoint for any of us is like, what is that energy exchange? And then lastly, just to wrap this up, I will say like, so there is a more like strategic way of approaching this is I want you to think about whatever your goal is for the end of the year. So let's just say somebody wants to make $100,000 for easy math, and that's your goal for the end of the year. Then I'll have my clients lay out like, okay, so great. What are the offers that you have, right? So what are your offers? What is the price point? And then we just do simple math. How many of those offers at this price point do you need to sell in order to hit your goal of, say, $100,000? And if the math doesn't math, then we've either got to raise our prices, right? Or sometimes people will do this exercise and they're like, my goodness, I would have to sell so many, or take care of so many clients for this. So you can just do a simple formula like that as well.
Oh, I really appreciate you. And I just love your style. Your energy and aura is just it just makes my nervous system just so relaxed to handle all of these big
Oh,
things. So that's you.
thank you. Yeah, thanks. Love that. That's a great conversation to have. Who was just speaking? We need to connect for support. That was Erica Zernzak that was speaking. And then there's two iPhone users here on, so you'll have to say if your iPhone, just give us your name with it too. There's Susan and Susan. Okay, great. Yes, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So yes, because Susan is in the Milwaukee area too. Who else wants some coaching, you guys? What else you got for me?
I'll-
Sarah?
Yeah, I'll take it. I feel like I am spinning.
Okay.
And then I'm not sleeping because I'm like anxious about everything. Not really anxious, but like the shit's about to get good. You know, like the book's about to go to publishing. I've been working on this book for over a decade of growth and wisdom and all that. But then it's like trying to do the book, live life, take care of my life, take care of me,
Mhm.
gain clients, publish videos. I am thinking about shifting my YouTube a little bit just because I don't want to stretch myself too thin, but it's like, and then I'm like, what if I created a Facebook group or a Discord group to promote the Aquarius experiment? And like, but then I'm like, but I don't know how the fuck people start the Aquarius experiment. I'm the freaking author. So I knew this was going to happen when we hit Gemini season this year because like the energy is picking up speed. And I know I'm one of those people who really needs the slow energy so that I can keep pace, but and I can easily like let the fast-paced masculine energy like take over and then I don't slow down and take care of myself. And so like maybe that's just inherently got me scared. Is like knowing the
Okay.
astrology ahead, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, great. So first off, congrats, because this is an exciting place to be. I love that there is like all the things. And here's what I want to say about that. So you have all of these things that are happening, which is really exciting. Have you read the book The One Thing, Sarah?
No.
So good. It is one of my favorite books. I love it. I'm reading it for the second time. I actually just finished it for the second or maybe the third time.
Is it on
Um,
Audible or something?
It's on Audible. Yep, you can
Okay.
get it on Audible.
Okay.
So, the one thing it really when we want to go big in our life, we need to go small. Okay? The way that we distract ourselves, don't hit our goals is by trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah.
Right? Trying to do all the things.
So the slow down to speed up.
So I want you to pick one thing, okay? So this question comes from the book The One Thing, but like what is the one thing in your business you can focus on right now such that by doing it everything else will either become easier or it won't even matter.
Well, then I would focus on the book and doing things that are pretty much supporting or growing the Aquarius experiment, because that's what this whole damn thing's been about for the last 12 years. So,
Okay. So that's your one thing right now in business. So it's focusing on the book. And then it is obviously probably anything that's going to help you sell and promote the book.
yeah, so like anything with Discord, social media, doing the experiment on myself so I can figure out how this thing's supposed to go. Like I have a whole
Great.
book full of content. I'm like, I don't even know how to tell people to get started.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So it's like you get to be the work, right? You're the living example, the living
Yeah.
embodiment of the work.
And that was kind of why I chose A, which was like the 50 no's, because I was like, well, I could create a Facebook group and then basically get people to be guinea pigs and like we could all do it together. And I mean, it
Yeah.
is like a fitness, it is a mental, it is an emotional, it is a spiritual program process. So, I mean, people would get healthy and over the summer and that'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yes. So by so that's your one thing. And then I want you to think about anything that's not that is a no right now.
So my feeling of cutting back on my YouTube's probably spot on.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have like we can't like we have to be willing to say no to things in order
I
to
know.
go small, right?
I
So
know. I just worked really hard to build my YouTube and to keep consistent at it and like to pull back from it. I'm like, oh man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a decision only you can make. Like I can't tell you to do that or not do that, but maybe like I don't know if you post weekly, maybe it looks like you post every other week.
Well,
Or
that's kind of what I was thinking. No, actually I post daily plus the monthly
wow.
sun and rising sign. Not daily, but like every time the moon changes sign. So basically every other day.
Okay.
I post a new video and then a monthly sun and rising signs, and then I post the weekly to the Awakening Spirit Collective. So think about how many videos that is, y'all.
That's a lot of videos.
lot of
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, I can see that taking a lot of time. And if
It-
that's not your one
yeah.
thing right now, maybe it's a once a week, right? You make a video on
Yeah.
Sunday and it covers the whole week.
I think that's what it's gonna have to be, is weeklies, because I don't want to burn myself out. And I know I can easily get burned out if I let too much masculine energy, like go, do, and forget to tune into my feminine, which is the feminine's what brought all this into being. And yes, the masculine part of me needs to be there, but like, I don't need it to take over the show either.
Well, and it's not actually useful. I mean, if your health isn't good in the process, right? It's like
Yeah.
we always need to make sure that we're maintaining our health and our well-being, our relationships. Like,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So, and it's summer, and like, I'm fine to be disciplined and do a discipline program through the summer. I've done it before. I did 75 hard in the middle of summer in Arizona. That was a blast, by the way. But so I'm fine to do a discipline program during the summer, but I also kind of want to enjoy summer and all of that. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Does that feel like you have your answer?
yeah, I think it's gonna be a cut back on the YouTube and really feel into what this Aquarius experiment actually is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited about the book. This is like literally 12 years of me doing coaching work, astrology work, spiritual work, Reiki work, you name it, work, and putting all of that into one thing and creating some kind of a program similar to 75 Hard, which is a program that I freaking love. So like I'm
Yeah,
kind
thank
of
you.
excited to like bring it.
I love that.
So
Congrats. That's so cool. And yeah, this gets to be your all in, right? So I
yeah.
think you brought up something really important. And for everyone, like, notice, like, what is your one thing right now? Be all
Yeah.
in on that and be okay with saying no to what's not that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Who else, you guys? Who wants some coaching today?
I'll go. I was
Okay. Great.
kind of in something that Sarah said about like the Facebook group. So I'm gonna be doing ANC, and I actually have a Facebook group that I created about 4 years ago, and there are 184 women in that group. Now I'm always shifting. Okay, I'm doing this now. Now I'm doing something else, and I have not really engaged in that Facebook group. I have a post that comes up. It's one of those automations in the group, but I'm never really live in that group. I'm never really posting anything in that group. And so my A was going to be getting 50 people to say no to joining my Legal Shield team. And then as I was thinking about C, I'm like, well, I'm going to invite them out to Saturday, Super Saturday. Like I want to invite people out to the Super Saturday. This way I don't have to talk to them about Legal Shield. They'll hear from someone who's making $1 million doing it, because I'm not making $1 million right now. And so I'm inviting them to come out, but also just like not really sure where like this group is going. And I think I have a fear of, if I start showing up too much, that people will start leaving the group too. But I'm like, it's dormant. Like there are literally 184 women in there, and I have not been consistent at all with showing up.
Got it. Thank you. So, what like tell me what's your question in there so that I don't take us in a wrong direction.
Okay,
A couple
just
thoughts.
like I guess I would need to know, I guess, what my why is. Like why are they in this group? Because it first started out, it was still multi-level marketing, but it was a different product.
Got
And
it.
so
Okay.
it went from that product then to now to Legal Shield. And
Got
it's
it.
just like dream bigger. So just kind of inviting them to dream big, to have to live their yes life.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
So the first thing I would do in that group is I would focus on like reviving the group and getting it going. I don't really think you can post too much and turn people off. I mean, Facebook has changed, the algorithms are different, you know, not everybody's going to see every post that you do. And I think just like building engagement within that group is going to be really key so that they're seeing it. You might even do personal reach outs like, hey, you've been in my group for a while. It has changed direction. I'm really reviving it. I'm glad you're here. I'd love to know, like, what would you love to get out of this group, right? Something simple like that, where it's just a personal voice note or it's a personal reach out, like, you know, I'm reviving the group. Happy you're here. You know, I would love for you to jump in. And I think it could be cool, like kicking it off for you to do some lives. Maybe a couple lives in the group, just like you could go live and be like, hey, I'm reviving the group and like, or I'm, you know, here's what I'm all about, or here's you could talk about Legal Shield or building dreams or what it's really there to do. And then you said you were gonna start inviting people to the group.
So not inviting people to the group, but we have Super Saturdays here where you have one of like the top executives come out and share about the opportunity. And so inviting them to those Super Saturdays. And so, and then I don't want to make it, I guess, salesy. Like I'm trying to, which I know, because I've read Live Your Yes Life. Like everything literally is going to end in a sale. And so I just kind of need to be okay with that. And it's not just about selling them a product, like it's giving them, having them to have access to justice, opportunity, because that is my North Star. Justice is my North Star. I founded the Holy Breath Conglomerates, which is a nonprofit organization. I founded 3 years ago. And so, and my North Star is justice. So having those women to like feel great about themselves, to experience justice, to just, live their yes life as I'm, navigating it myself. And I think a lot of times I don't show up because I'm not like where I want to be, and I don't have, and I'm not, being, I guess, the person that I know that I am. And so there's a lot of shame, a lot of guilt of going in the group because some of those people know me and know my past. And so I'm like, what do I get in here and say? Like, where, what do I, how do I engage them? Because I tried to revise it this year, like, keep the dream alive in 2025. Like I tried to go, I offer free notary services. Like I was like, I'm going to notarize documents for the first, 10 people that nobody, like, that wasn't it. And
Yeah.
so
It does. Okay, so it is a bit like this is great. What I would love for you to do, Aviance, is go back. This recording will be up right away in the Facebook group, in the Live Your Yes Life Facebook group. Listen to everything you said to me and take notes because you said a lot. And then you're like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, you just said a lot and it was really good. So justice is your North Star, right? Why is justice your North Star? Why are you so passionate about that?
why am I so passionate about justice? Because I think that just childhood, I've just seen so many things that were unfair. Like I'm all about equity and for communities, disinvested communities having like the resources that they need, the education that they need. And so like I'm really just passionate about that because of my own experience with being treated unfairly, with being treated unkindly, with working with people who weren't like trauma informed. And so like I'm always in a group that is a safe space, and I want to create safe spaces for those who feel or have experienced the things that I have. And so yeah.
Yes, thank you. That's what you say. That's what you say. Your message is so powerful. And like your heart, like you are here to serve and you're here to make a difference. And it's coming from this personal place within you and you want to make a difference for people. That's the message. That's the message. Yeah. Mhm.
Simple.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And you know, people will be so inspired by that and want to come along with you. Yeah, powerful. That's it, right? So just start sharing that. And you know, and also the other thing too is like build relationships with people, find out their dreams, you know? Like you tell them a little bit like, "Hey, my North Star is justice. This is why. Like, what's your dream?" And let them tell you. And then you can say, "Well, come with me to Super Saturday. I want to help you fund your dream," right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, it's powerful.
thank you.
Yeah. I see Christine's got a note for you in the chat. She said, "Take on my mantra. I do know what to say, what to post, why I'm here." Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I remember, Kayla, there was another challenge maybe 3, 4, 5 months back that I participated in, and I was sharing, and that quote that I dropped in the chat. She says, the woman that came before me um work for free. Now, she charges double. And so that I remember, like, that was very, very like that stuck with me. And so when I
Hmm.
heard Erica talk about it, it kind of reactivated that the woman who came before me worked for free, because we really got on like an ancestral level. And so she said, now I charge double. And so it was like a very deep ancestral like connection that was there. And she's like, Aviance, you can serve, you can give, but you don't have to, give until your cup is empty, or you don't,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to receive. So yeah,
Right.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Because what happens when you receive big, right? How much more then can you impact and help people when you're a big receiver?
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So powerful.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Let us know how it goes. Great. Who else would like to have some coaching today?
I would if there's time.
Hi, Rachel. Okay, go ahead.
Hi. So um my taking a big swing in doing I've had on my radar making a call to the guys at a Jewish store there. They've been around for a long time. They're very established. Um and um we actually just got invited to they had their 1 year anniversary of being in Hampstead in the community bias. So we went over there, and I just went with the going in knowing that I know that I want to talk to them, but I just talked to one of the brothers. We just had a great conversation with him. But then and that was very comfortable. But then now, in knowing that I want to like make this big call, I want to talk to them about my at cost metals business, um and to see like where they buy their metal from to do their jewelry and stuff, and if they're in a contract. But then I think what I know what holds me back is like I'm not good enough to talk to them, and I tend to play small. And so like I shrink, and like I'm not good enough. So I would like some help around like how to get out of that, or your suggestion on how to work through it.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you. This is great. What lets you know that you're not good enough to talk to them?
I think it's my ego.
Our egos have so much to say, don't they?
Yeah,
So rude sometimes.
that's like the only thing I can like think of that is just like trying to protect me. It probably is trying to like protect me from that. No, we've already got somebody. Um, and
Hmm.
um, I think
Yeah,
what else
let's
is like, oh, sorry. I just, I think ego and probably like just like I have support around my like from my like team and upline to be like, yeah, go do this. Um, but then there's like an old part of me is from like my parents and other people like, oh, these things are like, scams and gimmicks. You can't do that. And I think a little bit of that comes in there too.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So, what is it that your ego wants to protect you from?
I'd say like heartache.
Hmm. Okay. So, if you were to like I'm hearing a couple things. Like there's a thought that you're holding that's like I'm not really good enough. And then there's someone else's voice that's like it's a scam or it's a gimmick. And then that's swirling around and then your ego's like, yeah, and like you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to have heartache. So just play small. Does that feel true?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what if you got a yes?
that would be like the best thing in the world. It would just be like really liberating.
What would it mean about you if they said yes?
Um, that I would be um like relatable and um like bringing them something valuable, to their business.
What would it mean about you personally?
Um, I guess that it's okay to do hard things.
Hmm. Okay. It's okay to do hard things. What would it mean about you if they said no? No, thank you.
I'm trying to not take that as personally, to like you said, to work on like the 50 no's and to like that it's to be okay to receive a no and you put yourself out there and it's just not right for them at the time,
Yeah.
even though it's right for me.
Yeah. So a no wouldn't necessarily mean anything about you. It would just mean it's not right for them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's like an opportunity to focus on truth, right? We did a little bit of this work with Christine yesterday where it's like we have to really be willing to like and thank you for looking at this, right? So we can get clear on what is my truth, right? Like is it true that this is a scam and a gimmick? The work that
No,
you're no, right? It's not true because you wouldn't be doing it if it was, right? So that's not true. Is it true that you're not good enough?
no.
No. Yeah. What is true, actually? What is like honestly really true?
I really love these opportunities that have been presented, and they have like just such a powerful opportunity to help like people like with my solar, and I'm still working like my holistic health modalities and just added in my solar on like the energy sector.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like giving me an opportunity, like why my knee is healing and stuff, to be able to still do something else, where I don't have to be on my feet and stuff. and, hauling heavy equipment and stuff. So it's given me like opportunities on like, a lot of different sectors.
What's true about you, Rachel? What's true about who you are?
I'm passionate about things. I love connecting with people. I love like being able to help them and to like give back. My sense of purpose.
Would it be true that someone who is passionate, who loves people, who loves to help them, who loves to give back, is a person who is good enough to make requests and to do this business?
Yes.
So would you agree that that person is you?
Yes. Sorry. Our
Yeah.
dog admin must agree.
Yeah, exactly. That was like a yeah, hello, yes. So here's my homework for you. Here's my request is that you actually go back and listen to this, okay? Or you write these down. I'm passionate. I love people. I love to help them. I love to give back. I'm more than enough to share what I have or share the opportunity or whatever you might be doing. I want you to read that out loud every single morning. We have to put our energy into truth, right? Our ego minds, our critter brains, they have so much to say about who we are or who other people say we are, right? Like the work we did so powerfully yesterday with Christine. So, same, right? I want you to just energize the truth because the truth is you were born worthy, period. End of story. That's who you are. And not only that, you're passionate, you love people, you love to help, you're smart, you're talented. You're a healer, right? All of these things. So remind yourself of that every single day, like 10 times a day if you need to, so that you can start to see, do it in the mirror if you need to, right? But we have to be operating from a place of truth and be energizing the truth and reminding ourselves of the truth because that's how we take bold swings. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that.
thanks, Rachel. Great work.
Thank you.
Who else wants to do a little coaching in my hot seat? Want to do some coaching today?
Lisa, I'll go.
Okay. Hi, Deb.
Hi. Just feeling like I have a lot of doors open right now.
Okay.
And so yesterday made the declaration, opened another door. It felt like it was the time. And so as we're doing our work here on the bold moves, that's what I chose to do, was to make the declaration about moving ahead and actually making myself available for holistic healing practice. And
Yay, I love that for you. That's awesome. Congrats.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just doing some deep breathing. We have work going on with the property, joining the chamber, having an open house out here, the September retreat that I'm co-hosting, or there's a group of us having out here. So there's work going on with that. And then I made this declaration and intend to go forward with it. But yeah, it's feeling like a lot. And so when we're looking at prioritizing, I know there's things that are on a schedule so that I can take that into consideration as to what should the priority be, or what should I be doing when. So just needing to acknowledge that, just feeling like, wow. And then I added another
Yeah.
something on top of it, but I know that I was called to do that and that it's time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just needed to verbalize that. And then going to our homework, so looking at the practice Go for No.
Mhm.
Option C, I had committed that I would do that anyway, so make a post on Facebook with the bigger or official announcement. And the Elevate call we just had, that was very helpful, so I can change my Facebook from Deb Hallinan and then change the setting to professional so that I can incorporate that with my name
Yeah.
versus a business account. So I'll do the work to make that happen. My question, I chose that because that was something that I knew I could do.
Mhm.
The option A, 50 no's. I was curious what kind of invitations. I have a space both here up at the lake in Michigan and at home that I
Mhm.
rent. So I have the space to do the healing work. But I mean,
Mhm.
I just opened my door yesterday. So as far as anything on social media, nothing else is set up. So
Okay.
just curious, like what kind of invitation would I make at this point if I was looking to collect 50 no's at this stage of the game? And
Do
maybe
you
there's
want it to be specifically for a healing session? Do you want it to be for the retreat or any combination of?
it could be any combination of, but specifically,
Okay.
I guess I was thinking of with the healing work. But like
Okay.
I said, there's a lot of different things going on in this exercise I could use in all the areas that I'm looking at right now.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So
So I mean, you could, if you want, you could make it be a combination where it's like I sent out 20 messages for the retreat and I did, 30 for the healing space or like what, you can do what feels right for you. What kind of invitation would you make? So it might be that you are making a bit of an announcement like, hey, I've just been reaching out to some people in my circle, letting them know that I've decided to open up some healing sessions, that I'll be opening up some healing sessions starting on this date. And I wanted to share this to see if you know anyone who is looking to um, can you give me 3 talking points for why someone might come to you for a healing session? Do you have like 3 sort of bullet points?
um I was going to use the word relaxation, but that's not quite right. So after a session, you're just a feeling of ease and peace, of being settled. Your nervous system is not activated anymore. You're in a state of peace and calm.
Mhm. Yeah, who would be the person that would book this session with you?
Anyone who's experiencing anxiety, fatigue, recognizing mental, emotional stress.
Okay. Yeah, because you know how I'm always like, be specific. And I want to make sure they're not too broad, right? But these are good. Like I think that you could say, I've decided to open up some space for healing sessions this summer. And I'm currently, I've currently got so many sessions available for anyone who's feeling anxiety, fatigue, or any type of emotional or mental stress that is looking to balance their nervous system, have a greater sense of peace. If you know of anyone who could benefit from this, or you yourself, please let me know. I have X amount of spots available. Does that resonate for you?
Sure. So that's under they may say, no, I don't know anyone. They might say, yes, I could use that if there's a recognition, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Because it's
so-
sometimes you don't want to be like, hey, opened up some sessions for people who are anxious and having mental stress. Is that you? Like it could just feel a bit like, I wonder why she thinks I'm so anxious and stressed, right?
Right.
What did
No.
I say last time I talked to her? But I
Yeah.
think if you said like, this is who it's for, who want nervous system balancing, do you know of anyone? Or might this be you? Like I have some, or if you'd be interested, let me know.
I like that approach. That feels good.
Yeah. You're having a request to collaborate with Christine in the chat. I love that 4-hour session.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that would
that's so
be
cool.
okay.
Love it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so something like that. I mean, put it into your words, Deb, but I think it's really important that when you send it, you're clear about what they would come to you for. Okay. Anxiety, fatigue, mental, emotional stress, those are powerful. Right. So when people read that, they'll be like, oh my gosh, my sister is so stressed. She's going through a hard time. I'm going to send this to her.
Okay, and these are emails we're sending out? It can-
Whatever, you could email,
okay,
you could
in
text, you
whatever-
could call, you could Facebook message, like whatever your way is that you want to connect. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, I'll give that one some consideration as well. I thought it'd
Yeah.
be nice to try, have some way to try that option as well.
Yeah, just totally put it in your words and in your own alignment and integrity. Just be clear, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. Awesome. Anyone else want to do some coaching? If not, we can end early if everyone feels good, but I'm happy to, we've got 20 minutes left if anyone wants to jump in.
This is Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi. I'm really focusing on community wealth building in urban communities.
Okay.
I really feel like what has happened, and collaboration is key here.
Mhm.
Getting the right people to collaborate, to understand the importance of collaboration. This is Lynn Twist says that collaboration creates prosperity. And I really feel like people need to understand that let's start with what we have instead of looking at what we don't have. So, I'm always finding people, and particularly during these times, for times such as this, collaboration is key because we don't know, we can't determine what's happening at the federal level or the state level, whatever. But if people come together and collaborate and say, let's really look at what community wealth building looks like. Let's start with the assets that we have and begin to really see how we already have it within us to do and to move forward. What I find is there are three kind of areas that are really important to me. The collaboration, of course, is key. The other thing is really part of that scenario is unearthing the inequities of urban land use in urban communities and home ownership, because we've been redlined to poverty. And so that's by design. And we know that that's been happening, since people coming back from the war and all of these things. And so I feel like that's important. And the other thing is I really think it's important that we create a pathway for urban STEAM. So I always say urban STEAM because the arts are so important with the creativity of leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. Because as you know, Lisa, I'm not a big fan of Facebook because I have a different opinion with the person who started it. So how do we begin to create our own platforms where they are more holistic, where people see that you have a space to really be your authentic self and not feel as though you're going to be judged? And for me, the reason I'm focusing on community wealth building is because when I did some research and I was looking at brownfield redevelopment, which brownfields are these properties that are either real or perceived as being contaminated. And there are a lot of them in the urban communities. But if you ask the average person what's a brownfield, they really don't know, but they're living around them. So we hear about, people, having higher rates of asthma. We talk about all this stuff, but we're really not addressing the problem, the why. And so what I see is people say underserved community. No, they're disinvested. These communities have not been invested in and they continue to go there. So we get a lot of money and they're pouring them into communities. And a lot of organizations are really afraid of gentrification. So for me, if we start to come together and see what it is that we can do, start with ourselves to build this, because what people do, and I say I'm a co-creator because we need to work together. This is not me coming and saying this is what you need. So being a co-creator is really important. And because what people create they will work towards. They want to be a part of their success. They want to be a part of something
Yeah.
greater than themselves.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. So is first of all, your message and your mission so powerful. And when you speak about having a platform to be your authentic self, does it need to be online or can it be local for the work that you're doing?
It can be local. I think that, you have to get out and meet and greet people to let them know what you're doing. I
Yeah.
think, we can do it online, but people need to see you. They need to
Mm-hmm.
basically see the person who's saying, let's work together. Let's be a co-creator. And so I think that for me, um, I look at my father, for example, and I think maybe why this resonates with me so much. Excuse me, my father had a state and federal job. He worked for the state during the day. He would come home and sleep 3 hours and then go and work for the federal job. We should be millionaires. There are not
Yeah.
people back in that time that had a state and a federal job. Yet, not really knowing about investing in yourself. And we even had a home. And, my father, we had a little store on the side. And, he would help our neighbor to sell his eggs. So, again, I think that one of the things that what I'm finding is that when you start talking about wealth creation, wealth means different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not just economic wealth, it's also spiritual wealth. It's, and I always say health as well,
Mm-hmm. For
because
sure.
health is really the first thing. I mean, I always say
Mhm.
Steve Jobs could have bought a leg, arm, and everything, and to be
Yeah.
back here, but health as well. So that healthy mind will allow us to move forward, but we have to start. And one of the things that I really took from the thing that I with you earlier was the fact that we have to have that energetic alignment.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And so getting people to understand that this is so important to be able to come together and collaborate, because you don't want the negative energy in there. So for me, ego is edging God out.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I want to pull that
Absolutely.
in and work together. So
I think something I'm sensed like you're such a powerful storyteller, Deborah, and like something I guess intuitively that I was feeling as you were speaking is like I could just see you bringing people together. Maybe it starts out, or maybe you've already started out like very small events where you're telling your story and you're telling other people's stories and you're inviting people to collaborate, to get involved. And from there, being able to then expand into bigger events and get more people involved. And who knows, who knows who that can come in and really invest in the community in a way that is in alignment with what you're all are creating. And do you have an email list already?
not really, I've had this LLC's been sitting sort of on the side, and now I'm really moving forward to make these bold moves to do that because I think it's important. And even
Yeah,
the
I think.
yeah. And so I have, friends and all, but I really want people to know that this is so important right now for a
Yeah.
topic such as this. And I keep saying that because we really don't know. And we
Yeah.
have to be masters at practicing presence.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really important.
So important. And like when you said like a platform where you can be your authentic self, I think that's your email platform. One thing that you could consider doing is a summit. I don't know if you've ever done a summit or seen like an email summit where you would bring in, let's say, like 21 different speakers, and it would be a summit on community wealth building. Okay, so you could interview these different people who would come in and share their expertise, share their aligned message to like help you start this grassroots effort. And then everyone shares it to their email list. right? So you're list building this way. It's kind of like a collaborative effort to one, get the message out, two, build a conjoined email list where you then, you know, now you're starting to get your message out. These people are all in alignment. You have a platform. It can be collaborative. Like that's one way that you can use. And then as you go out and you do these community in-person events, you have a way to bring these people in on your email list. So there's communication in between the events. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's something I'm seeing for you that could be a very powerful way where there's no censorship, there's, you know, nothing's getting filtered. Like, it's just your message, and it's very collaborative.
Yeah, I appreciate that because it's important, you know, for times, I keep saying that, for times such as this,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know. And if we
Yeah.
don't come together to do that, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm getting back into my discipline, which is ecological economics,
Mm-hmm.
because, and I am really bringing a feminine power perspective to that because I really feel like, you know, we keep hearing, you know, everybody wants to have a big graph and talk, but if you ask the average person, like for example, what is degrowth, they don't have a clue about that. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
meet people where they are and tell them why this is important, that we can't separate the society and the environment and the economy because they're all interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent. So if you really want to have a thriving, you know, community and you want to build wealth, you need to understand that they're all connected. So how do we make sure that we have the we over me mentality instead of the me over we? And right now it's me over we.
Yeah. Thanks, Deborah. What part of the country are you in?
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York. Okay, great. Yeah, good to know in case anyone on is local to that or anyone listening to the replay could be a great connection. Yeah, thank you. So does that give you just sort of a little starting place to maybe jump off of?
It does. And I, you know, hadn't really thought about doing some kind of a summit, but, you know, I really think that that's, yeah, that's something that I would really think about doing. I just really
Yeah.
think it's important that we begin to see ourselves as the change we want to see instead of waiting for someone else. Because I always say, stop waiting for Godot, because Godot never came.
Mhm. Yeah, powerful. Thank you.
So thank you for that help. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Deborah, I was just going to mention quick, I would love to connect. And since you mentioned you don't like Facebook, I don't know if I'm on your Facebook. So I just love to figure out how to connect with you.
Okay, I can give you my email.
Sure. Let's see. I don't have a pen and paper, but it would be on the recording. I'll go back and listen to the recording.
Okay, it's NAZOND, so my last name and my first initial at Verizon.net.
Okay, perfect.
So if anyone wants to, let's start talking about this. I'd love it because I really feel like this is something important right now. I'm seeing a lot of communities, and like I said, there's a lot of disinvestment in communities, and this has been going on for some time, and this is by design, and we need to break that.
Absolutely. Yeah, powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your message and your story. This was a great call today, you guys. Before we close, was there anyone else that had a question or anything today? Great. Thank you. All right. Well, I cannot wait to see what bold moves that you all take and to hear about how it goes. Know that I'm over here just holding space for you all. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have a great time. So go and enjoy, and I will see you back here tomorrow, same place, same time for our final day. And remember that if you've not yet booked an implementation call and you would like one with Kayla and I or a member of our team, please do let us know. We're here for it. So, all right, you guys, bye.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Great, thank you.